So we are going to look at 3 distilleries. This is the first, Glen Scotia. For a long time they haven't been that well known, and maybe not that well considered, alongside Springbank, which has been a bit of a legend, one of the pinnacles of whisky production. So Glen Scotia had been sort of in the doldrums for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But in the past 5 years, the turnaround has been quite immense. Whisky comes down to obviously the distillation, the quality of the distillation, and how you build up to that. What measures you put in place to make that quality distillation. But far more, dare I say, far more importantly, is the cask selection. And if you fill a load of different casks full of the same spirit, some casks are going to be a bit funky, some are going to be completely off, some are going to be amazing. And then it's a matter of how you use that resource. Do you just throw everything you've got into vats willy-nilly and hope for the best, or do you really pick out the best cask and maybe leave the ones which aren't quite singing, or definitely get rid of the ones which are overly sulphurous or not particularly tasty in one respect? And that's what Glen Scotia have done. Their cask selection in recent years has changed and evolved, and the resulting liquid is really very
really
good
nice.
now.
And I must admit, when I came back to whisky a few years ago, it was actually this bottle that I was recommended to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it then, and I still love it.
I really like it. It's a non-age statement. It's called Double Cask, and that's it. It's referring to sort of the perfect combination of ex-European and American oak casks. They're actually being more specific in this case and telling you there's Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. Pedro Jimenez, of course, being the very, very sweet dessert wine style sherry that is made in Jerez. And you get a sweetness on the palate, I think. You get some really beautiful sweet fruits. I think there's pear and apricot, and I think if you look hard enough you can begin to see a little bit of the raisiny character that you should expect from Pedro Jimenez, and also PX, matured whiskey, and I think it's there. Classical Campbeltown spicy notes, which I love. I think Campbeltown is a great segue for people who have enjoyed Highland Park and maybe Talisker. There's no small amount of peppery notes in this, and I think if you like that character, something with a little bit of spice, a little bit of pepper, this is a nice one to move on to. And from here you can go from the double cask up to the 12, up to the 15, which is immense, much more peat in that, and onwards from there. I think it's a cracking wee introduction to Campbeltown whiskies. Small amount of peat, a little bit of spice, sweet fruits.
Taste the peat though.
You don't.
You don't really notice it, unless someone says there's peat in there. Then you go, all right,
yeah, no, absolutely. But that's the same with a lot of whiskies, to be honest. Some, peat can be in as little as sort of 5 parts per million in the whiskey, and you won't really notice it as peat itself. Depends where the peat comes from as well. Isla peat is very different to, say, mainland East Coast peat. It provides a very different flavour. But a lovely whiskey to enjoy, maybe in a pub, or just a decent drama.
I have to say, this is my coming home in the evening.